Welcome back to the Demon Slayer Gaming channel. We're going to be continuing our Final Fantasy XIV Dungeon Guide series today. We're going to be taking a look at the new trial dungeon released in patch 6.4, the Voidcast Dais. Now when you start off the fight, you'll get to see a introductory of some of his abilities before it transitions into a much more complicated version later on. So when the fight first begins, you'll have a brief moment to just wail on him until he jumps to the middle of the platform. At this time, he'll cast Terra Storm. This is going to summon a large rock that will float to one corner of the platform. You'll just want to move away from this as it'll drop a circular AoE underneath it whenever it lands. He'll then cast Crescent Blade, which is going to do a large AoE across half of the platform depending on where his blade is pointing. So you'll always just want to be on the opposite side of the blade when this ability is cast. Arctic Assault is going to do 2 AoEs on opposite sides of the platform based on where the spikes are pointing, so you'll just want to get on the opposite side of the spikes. He'll follow this up with another Crescent Blade, so again you'll just move yourself to whichever side the blade is not on. He'll then cast Void Meteor on the tanks. This will do several comets that do minor damage before actually hitting them with a Void Meteor for significant damage, so you can save most of your damage reductions for that final hit. He'll then cast Lingering Spark, which will do 3 sets of circular AoEs under party members that you'll just need to move out of, followed by another Crescent Blade. So again, get on the opposite side of the blade of the platform. At this time, he'll cast Binding Cold, which is going to do party-wide damage, along with applying a Frostbite debuff, which will cause continuous damage to everyone. He'll then go into his transition. The first time this is cast, he'll follow it up with Black Fang, which is going to do significant party-wide damage that you'll just need to pop any damage reductions that you have and heal through. From now on, when this ability is used throughout the rest of the fight, it will augment the rest of his abilities, so you'll need to watch out for that. He'll then jump back to the center of the platform, casting Adaja's Shadow again to augment his abilities. He'll follow up with a Shadow Crescent, which is going to do the half platform attack on the side of his blade, along with doing a circular AoE underneath him afterward. At the same time, 5 party members will be marked with circular AoE, so you'll need to spread out along the platform afterwards. He'll then mark 1 party member with a knockback effect, and then summon 2 different circles that have pillars in them. There needs to be a number of party members inside the circles, depending on how many pillars there are when this ability goes off. Immediately after this ability, he'll cast Double Meteor, which will do 2 proximity-based AoEs on one side of the platform, along with 1 party member being marked by the dragon. That will do a large line AoE. He'll then go to the center of the platform, casting Gale Sphere. This is going to create 4 copies of him. You'll want to make sure that you're checking the order that they are coming out of him, as that's the order that the AoEs will go off in. They will then launch 4 line AoEs from each side of the platform based on the order that they came out from his body. So you'll just want to transition in between each of these, moving as they go off. He'll then cast a Void Stardust, which will summon 2 meteors that will move around the platform So you'll just want to position yourself close to their original landing spot and move under it after it goes off. He'll follow up with a Void Meteor on the tanks. Tanks will want to move away from the rest of the group and pop cooldowns as necessary. With this being a multi-hit ability, DPS want to make sure that they're not moving close to the tanks at any point in time during this ability. He'll then go back to the platform again, casting Azdaja's Shadow to augment his abilities one more time. He'll then do another Lingering Spark for the 3 sets of AoEs on the ground. And then he'll follow this up with an Eventide Fall, which is going to do 2 group up AoEs that you'll need to split the party, as it applies a magic vulnerability debuff that you are hit with both of them, you will instant die. I'll follow up with another Gale Sphere, so watch the order that the clones come out of the boss's body to know what order the AoEs will be going off in. I'll then follow it up with a Shadow Crescent, which you'll need to get on the opposite side of where the blade is, along with moving away from the boss to avoid the circular AoE. At the same time, this one will have a group up mechanic, so you'll need to group shortly after the circular AoE to split the damage from this. I'll follow with another Binding Cold for AoE damage, along with the damage over time on all party members, before jumping back to the center and casting another Azdaja's Shadow. He'll then cast a Void Stardust, which will summon the 2 meteors around the platform, followed by an Arctic Assault. So you'll want to stand on the sides of the platform that do not have the spikes. Follow up with a Terra Storm, so you'll just want to move away from the large rock in the sky. And then a Shadow Crescent, so you'll get behind him, along with moving away from him and spreading out. He'll then do the knockback from one party member again, so make sure you're moving into the middle and positioning on either side to get pushed into the circles. Followed by the double meteor and large line AoE. And then followed by a Void Meteor on both tanks. We'll go back to the center, casting another Azdaja's Shadow. Before casting a Lingering Spark. So put the circular AoEs on the ground, along with a Eventide Fall, which is going to do the 2 group up line AoEs, so you'll want to split the party to split this damage. And then followed by another Gale Sphere. I'm sure everyone's already noticed, but if you haven't, then you should realize that the fight has started to repeat already. So even if you don't down him at this point, then the previous mechanics that you've already covered, you should just see on repeat from here. But this should be it for the Voidcast Dais. I hope this helped everyone out. If it did, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you on the next one.